It says, the heavens tell the glory of God. The skies display his marvelous craftsmanship. Ladies, how many of you know God is speaking all the time? He is displaying his majesty all the time. And he's not saying a word, but his majesty is. Amen? How can we not be in awe of who he is and his faithfulness? It rises up like the sun every morning and every day. He paints the skies every morning and every night with the most gorgeous sunsets. How can we not say there is no God? Amen. Amen. But you know what I love too? You know, I see love in action every day because of the job I do. And I see silent sermons. I call them silent sermons. Because I see love in action. How many of us know we can speak a word, but we actually can say more when we do a word? We can speak a word, and is it the words that we speak or the life that we live? Now I'm taking you deep. Now I don't want to lose you, because it's important. How we live our life actually says more than what we can ever say in a word. Now I tell these ladies all the time, I'm an introvert. I don't like talking. I'll be honest, this is not my comfort zone. But God has just placed me here because he is really wanting women to become intimate. And he is equipping me to try to get everyone to be more intimate with him. It's not about religion as it is a relationship. And the more you become intimate, the more you will hear him, and the more you will know him, and the more you will see him like you've never seen him before. Because we can walk right by the flowers, we can walk right through every day and miss him, and miss his grandeur, miss the beauty. I love it. And the Bible is so full of show and tell moments. I call them show and tell because I love reading the scripture because it's like show and tell. He loves to show a message rather than speak a message. You know, when Jesus came, he didn't say a lot of words. I don't know if you know that, but the words that are in the Bible are few and they're red. But he spoke little. But when he spoke, it was powerful. It was so powerful. It confused and caused so much that the people that knew him, it made sense because he spoke in parables. And he spoke in such a language that was so tangible because he talked as a master gardener and he talked to herdsmen and sheep herders and he talked in a language that they could understand. That's powerful. But how many of us know that maybe we can say something and it comes across completely wrong? That was not exactly what I wanted to say. And you can relate to that? Oh yeah? Like, it happens to me. I can say something, honey, you took that wrong. That's not what I said. Isn't that true? Yes. And sometimes, you know, the enemy kind of messes us up because he wants us to speak. And I know, you know what, sometimes, like Jesus did, he says, I only want to say what the Father says. Amen. And so I love the fact that my grandma used to tell me, you know, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say it at all. How many of you know that's true? Like, we should follow that golden rule. But in this world today, there's so much wickedness and so much evil going on that it's frightening to think that so many people, what came out of your mouth? That's powerful. Because they don't understand what they're saying and what they're doing. Because the Bible also tells us in Revelation who will be held accountable for every word that is spoken. I don't want to say the wrong word. We can more relate to people by the kindness that they share than by the words that they say. And you know, it's terrible. You know, mega churches are building churches and they're all coming and they're getting a good word, but they go out and they all act like idiots. You know, come on. If you take a word in, you're supposed to be changed. You're supposed to go out and be nice. Like love in action. I love that. Just we gotta be love in action. And a silent sermon. But you know, I also believe that God used so many stories in the Bible and so many heroes. I call them heroes because they were all heroes. And men and women of faith that were so powerful. Sometimes they didn't say a word, but their actions said a whole message. And Jesus, so many times, he did more things in action, hoping that the disciples were paying attention because he was teaching them something. Isn't that so true? So true, like Moses. He said, you're not a good speaker, but don't worry about speaking because I'm not going to have you speak much. I'm going to have you, and I'm going to do all the work. All I need you to do is take that staff that's in your hand, and I'm just going to have you throw it down, and I will make it turn into a snake and eat everyone else. And I will just have you say what plagues are going to be coming, and I will do all the work. You don't have to say anything. And when you get to the sea, you don't have to say anything. I will part the sea. Isn't that amazing? Yes. So many times the Bible is a show and tell God. He shows us so many times. And then he took every idol that they had and he used it as a plague against them. And he wanted to show them. He's a show and tell God. He is today. There are so many things happening in the world with revival and what is going on. And you know, I love the fact that some messages are very fragrant. And I'll share one with you. Is a woman, and you guys are very familiar with it, she knew who Jesus was. And she walked in just before he was about to be crucified. She didn't walk in saying a message. She walked in showing a message. She walked in with the most expensive perfume, a year's worth of wages. And she bent down and worshiped Jesus at his feet and poured a perfume that was so fragrant. They didn't hear a word, but they could smell it. They could smell it. Is your word so fragrant, or your actions or your worship so fragrant that it changes the atmosphere? That's powerful. That was a sermon in silence. So she was praising God because guess what? Lazarus was sitting there alive. And they were sharing this moment with Jesus. Isn't that so amazing? How many of us have maybe experienced a miracle? And we have so much we want to share. But you know what? Our miracles live in us. And how are we expressing our love? And it isn't in always saying the right word, because I love the fact that, you know, people order flowers and they're always worried about what to put on the card, or they're always worried about what to say, especially at a time when someone's lost a loved one. You know, I love it because flowers whisper all the right words. And it's not the flowers, it's the Holy Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit that can say all the right words that we can't possibly say. You know, I see it every day in my job and in my occupation. I see it all the time. I see love in action. I see love comforting someone who's lost a loved one. I see encouragement when someone has been diagnosed. I see encouragement, but it ain't me and it ain't the flowers. It's God. It's love in action. You know, we can't say love as much as we can feel it. That's love in action. And that's love in silence. People will forget what you say, but they will not forget how you make them feel. Pay attention to that. That's powerful. They will never forget how you make them feel. That is so important. Sometimes our messages are more important than how we make others feel. It's really not the words that we say. And I love when we really know who Jesus is. You know, I think so many times we're so busy talking, and the enemy likes to come between all of technology that we have today, between the phones and the computers and the laptops and everything. We are bombarded with words and languages that, how many of us know it's kind of hard to find a silent space? Oh my gosh, like it's hard. I was trying to prepare this message and I had a hard time finding quiet. But you know what? When we can get quiet, that is God. When we can silence the world, we can hear God. Amen. That is so powerful.